Okay.
We need to do that though, Brian.
Everyone here who's going to be here, okay. Hello, everyone. Good morning. This is the Board of Trustees regular meeting, 2020-23. It's November 24th, 2020. The time is 9:04 a.m. We're at the Village Hall Auditorium. Please take the roll.
President Barry?
Here.
Trustee Vorder?
Here.
Trustee Mello?
Here.
Trustee Stalker?
Here.
Trustee Oliniechek would like to participate by phone. Trustee Desmond?
Here.
And Trustee Phelan would like to participate by phone.
Okay, thank you. Could I get a motion, please, to allow the participation phone by Trustee Stalker made the motion, seconded by Trustee Mallow. This is for Trustee Phelan and Trustee Oliniechek to participate telephonically. We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Call the vote, please.
Trustee Vorder? Trustee Mello?
Yes.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Would everyone rise, please, for the pledge? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, hello, everyone. I'm informed we have no public comments, and under item 4, conflict of interest disclosure. Does anyone have a conflict to disclose with any item on tonight's agenda? And hearing none, we're going to move on to item 5, approval of the meeting minutes for the closed meeting minutes 2020-08, dated September 22nd, 2020. May I have a motion, please? On
Motion to
number
approve,
5?
Mayor.
Thank you. That was Trustee Vorder who made that motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Trustee Desmond is our second. Thank you. Any discussion? Call that vote, please.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Mello?
Yes.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Phelan? Motion
Thank you.
passes.
Item 6, approval of the meeting minutes for the special meeting minutes 2020, number -20, dated November 6, 2020. May I have a motion on 6, please?
Motion to approve, Mayor.
Thank you, Trustee Vorder made that motion.
Second.
By Trustee Stalker. Thank you. Any discussion? Let's call that vote, please.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Mello?
Yes.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek? Yes. Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Phelan? Yes. Motion passes.
Thank you. Item 7, approval of meeting minutes for the regular meeting minutes 2020-21, dated November 10th, 2020. May I have a motion on item 7, please?
Motion to approve, Mayor.
Trustee
Second.
Vorder made that motion, seconded by Trustee Stalker. Any discussion? Let's call the vote on number 7, please.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Mello?
Yes.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Phelan?
Trustee Phelan.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Motion passes.
Okay. Item 8, approval of the meeting minutes, special meeting minutes 2020-22, dated November 17th, 2020. May I have a motion on 8, please?
Motion to approve, Mayor.
Trustee Vorder again. Any second?
Second.
Trustee Desmond, thank you. Any discussion? Let's call that vote, please.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Mello?
Yes.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Phelan? Motion passes.
Thank you. Item 9, new business by village trustees. Let's start in District 1. Trustee Desmond.
Thank you, Mayor. I have no new business, but would just like to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. We've had a tough year. Hopefully, the rest of the year will be better and we'll start 2021 with a new outlook, a new hope. Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you very much, Trustee Desmond. District 2, Trustee Oliniechek.
I have no new business. I, too, would like to wish everyone a happy and healthy Thanksgiving. That is it.
Thank you very much. District 3,
Thanks,
Trustee
Mayor.
Mello.
I would like to also wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving, a healthy Thanksgiving. Hopefully, you're able to visit with your families via Zoom or via video or in person. The other mention I would have is Saturday, this coming Saturday, we are going to host Santa on the Green over here behind Village Hall. We ask that parents park in the parking lot of the library on the east side to make things quick and make things, it's very festive out there. It looks great. The The Public Works Department did a great job decorating. So I just wanted to let everybody know that will be from 11 to 1 on Saturday. And we're going to make a big line to Santa, so we'll get that 2020 socially distant picture of Santa for everyone to have a keepsake of 2020. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Trustee Mallow. District 4, Trustee Warder.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd just like to echo the comments of my colleagues here. Thanksgiving is always a wonderful holiday. Don't eat too much. And one more thing, enjoy the first little snowfall. Hopefully, that's the only one this year. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. District 5.
I also wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. But speaking of Santa Claus, I have it on good authority that NORAD has reported that Santa Claus does not have COVID-19, does not get COVID-19, and never will, because he's lived through every pandemic that has ever occurred in the world. So I want you all to be good kids and look forward to Santa Claus on Christmas. And happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you very much. District 6, Trustee Phelan.
Thank you, Mayor. I just have two items. One, I wanted to first thank Trustee Mallow and the Special Events, Arts and Events Committee for putting together the modified Santa on the Green. No easy task in this environment of COVID, but it can't be overstated, in my opinion, that for the population that is at such a low risk, the importance of providing some semblance of normal life. I mean, we're seeing more and more stories about young children and the negative effects both in school and social atmosphere. So I know that Trustee Mallow and the committee have gone to great lengths to make sure that we're following protocols, masks are worn, social distancing exists. So I think it's worth thanking he and the committee for doing that and all the volunteers. Secondly, I wanted to talk briefly about the budget and the ongoing financial stress that the village, of course, everybody around us is experiencing, especially with these new and more stringent restrictions on businesses. It's a difficult thing. The good news is we seem to have a number of vaccines in the works that are 90+ effective. Problem is that the delivery times and the capacity. But at the end of the day, we, the village, are still facing significant budget shortfalls. I know our manager, assistant manager, and finance department have been working hard on several matters, but we can't stress enough as a board, in my opinion. I would hope there'd be universal support to tell every department head, every employee, in fact, who spends village money, taxpayer money, that this next year, not this past year, this next year is when we're going to really feel the pinch. And as we've done for several years in the past, we don't want to impact our property taxpayers to the greatest extent possible. And we're working hard in that regard, but this next year is going to be exceedingly difficult so that the budget that we are going to approve in December, whether it be the first meeting or a special meeting if we have to call it, have to be an austere budget. No frills, anything that is not absolutely necessary for providing the services the residents and business desire and need has to be deferred. Absolute must. If you don't need it, you can get by without it. There has to be universal support to defer, if not altogether eliminate waste. And I will commend the finance department, the management department heads for pursuing that sort of agenda, but it's just something that we need to kind of stay on over and over again, because again, this year seems like we weathered it well. Our managers made some very difficult decisions, reducing personnel, employees taking deferrals on payments and raises. So a lot of that will come home to roost if we don't exit this COVID pandemic somewhat quickly. So I just wanted to reiterate that point, and then finally also wish everybody a happy and healthy Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Trustee. Okay, report, Randy.
Good morning, Mayor and Board. Just a few things that I'd like to speak on, and I'd like to piggyback on what Trustee Phelan was just talking about for our budget for next year. On this, for this meeting, you're going to see two requests for firefighters. and on the next one, you're probably going to see a police officer and a promotion. The reason that being is that I've been given direction by this board to not compromise public safety, and we are trying as hard as we can to keep our staffing levels in those areas up to where they should be. Again, we are going to feel the pinch, as Trustee Phelan said, and I need all the department heads to realize that, and I think that they have, as we have had meetings with them. We've talked about capital and other items that we will, that may have been in the budget when we first met, but will probably be removed. And so we'll see how this next shutdown affects us. We hope it doesn't affect us too bad. We hope that we get something from the federal government to assist us. And if we do, that will help us. But again, I think next year, as Trustee Phelan said, will be a very trying time. With that said, I just wanted to make sure that everybody was clear throughout the village if they've seen that, we've been talking about cuts and cuts and cuts, and now you're going to see these hires. Some of them are due to individuals retiring or resigning. Other ones are just trying to get back up to the level we had. But again, it's going to be tight. So that's all I have.
Thank you. Thank you, Vera. Item 11 is our consent agenda. All items on the consent agenda are routine and have been brought forward at the direction of the Board of Trustees and will be enacted with one motion. If discussion is desired, that item will be removed from the consent agenda and considered separately. 11A is a request to approve the Traffic Safety Committee's referral to restrict parking anytime on north and south sides of 103rd Street from Central Avenue to Major Avenue. This was a 5-1 vote to approve. The Village of Oak Lawn Street Department Crew Chief Dennis Skoda is the petitioner in District 5. B is an ordinance granting that request. C, a request to approve the Zoning and Planning Commission referral for sign variations to install 2 electric charging stations with animated digital off-site advertising signs on them at 4031 West 95th Street. This was a 5-0 vote to approve. Volta Charging is the petitioner in District 4. D is an ordinance granting that request. E is a request to approve the Zoning and Planning Commission referral for an impervious surface variation to install a concrete pad at the rear of their garage and a sidewalk leading up to it at 4625 West 106th Place. This was a 5-0 vote to approve. Matthew and Michelle Knipes are the petitioners in District 6. F is an ordinance granting that request. G is a request of the Board of Trustees approval on recommendation from the Fire and Police Commission to lower the minimum hiring age for the Village of Oak Lawn Fire Department from 24 to 21. H is ordinance granting that request, adopting a new minimum age for the fire service. I, motion to approve after the Board of Trustees in executive session 2020-09 dated November 10th, 2020, reviewed for the release of closed meeting minutes from December 12th, 2017, 2017-14, January 8th, 2018, number 2018-01, April 10th, 2018, number 2018-05, June 12th, 2018, number 2018-07, August 14th, 2018, number 2018-08, January 22nd, 2019, number 2019-02, May 28th, 2019, number 2019-05, July 24th, 2019, number 2019-07, August 13th, 2019, number 2019-08, October 14th, 2019, number 2019-09, October 22nd, 2019, number 2019-10, February 11th, 2020, number 2020-01, February 25th, 2020, number 2020-02, April 14th, 2020, number 2020-03, May 26th, 2020, 2020-04, and June 9th, 2020, number 2020-05, August 11th, 2020, number 2020-07, that the need for confidentiality still exists. 11J, request Board of Trustees approval and direction to the Board of the Fire and Police Commission to hire 2 firefighter paramedics from the current eligibility list to replace vacant positions due to the resignation, retirement. K is a request of the Board of Trustees approval and direction to the Board of the Fire and Police Commission to promote 1 fire engineer from the current eligibility list due to retirement. L, Resolution 2023-70, a resolution authorizing the release of certain executive session minutes. M is Resolution 2023-71, resolution authorizing the execution of a small cell master attachment agreement with New Singular Wireless requested by the village manager. May I have a motion on 11, please?
Motion approved.
Thank you, trustee Mallow. We have motion. Do I have a second? Second is trustee Stalker. Thank you. Any discussion, gentlemen?
Yes, Mayor, I'd like to remove C and D.
Okay. Any other discussion?
Yes, I'd like to remove item G.
G like George?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Okay, let me just look at those real quick. Okay, and then, do you want to remove G and H since those are kind of together?
Yes, thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome. Any other discussion? So we are voting on item 11 with the exception of C and D, G and H. Let's call that vote, please.
Trustee Vorder,
Yes.
trustee Mallow,
Yes.
trustee Stalker,
Yes.
trustee Oliniechek,
Yes.
trustee Desmond,
Yes.
trustee Phelan.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, thank you. 11C is a request to approve the Zoning and Planning Commission referral for sign variations to install 2 electric vehicle charging stations with animated digital off-site advertising signs on them at 4031 West 95th Street. This was a 5-0 to approve. Volta Charging is the petitioner in District 4, and D is the ordinance granting that request. May I have a motion on C and D, or C, please?
Motion to approve, Mayor.
Thank you. Trustee Vorder made that motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, trustee Desmond is our second. Any discussion?
Yeah, Mayor, I saw this on the P and D agenda, but I didn't get the minutes. I'm curious on the off-site advertising location. Does anybody here know exactly where these signs will go?
Yeah, normally those details are in the packet. I was surprised it wasn't in the packet.
Yes,
So-
yes.
So,
Yeah, they're going to be close to the building. They're mounting them real close to the building, and then the digital sign is within the reason why we got the variation. It's not going to be very large, but it is going to be on the sign. That's correct, right, Don?
I've got the site map here right now, that's what I'm looking for. The grocery store, they'll be out in front of that, in the parking in front of the grocery store.
All right, well, that answers my question. I was
Mayor-
more concerned.
Mayor, Volta
Gonna
is
be on-
here. Could we ask for Volta to come?
Certainly, and I want to also say what folks couldn't hear who might be watching at home. Mr. McKenna said the charging stations will be right in front of the store in the parking initially there. And someone from Volta is here. Could you state your name, please, and tell us a
Certainly.
little bit about these?
Sure. My name is Dawn Zancan. I am the Regional Real Estate Site Acquisition and Development Director for Volta Charging for the Midwest region of the U.S. Volta Charging has been in business about 15 years, and our mission and vision is to provide free, publicly accessible electric vehicle charging. And we do that in large retail, shopping centers, stadiums, arenas, high foot traffic areas. And we monetize installing and providing the equipment and paying rent to the landlord by selling sponsored media on 50-inch corner-to-corner diagonally digital screens that are mounted on our charging stations. Hence the need for the sign variation for this large national grocer location. We do have a national partnership with this grocer, so we'll be installing hundreds of them nationally. We also are partnering with several of the dealerships in the area who will be putting EV charging models out in the next 2 years. I know 9 of them are here in Oak Lawn proper. So it would be an opportunity to have your very first free publicly accessible charging infrastructure available to any and everyone.
Okay, so this is a request from Amazon? Is that what we're?
Unfortunately, I'm under an MNDA. I cannot confirm the name, but it is the national grocer on the Oak Park Commons site.
I can freely say, due to documents sent to me by their marketing company, an Amazon Fresh is going in there, and it is, I can freely say that. That is for public knowledge.
That's what I thought. These are not going to be in the parking lot?
They are in the parking lot near the front door of the store.
These are kind of like what you see at the malls, correct?
Correct. It's the same as like the digital directory signage you see as you walk into the front entrance of the store. Amazon Fresh's arrangement with Volta is to place some of their own sponsorship on the stations as well. So they're using it to promote their own products and offerings and sales. And then in addition to that, we would take the available inventory and be selling that in order to monetize our investment with them.
Yeah.
So
And
I-
my-
Saying it's a free service, they just pull up and they can,
Correct. It's a free service. There are designated stalls that are EV only, and they get, I believe at this site, we are proposing 2 hours of free charge.
Yeah, electric vehicles are awesome, Tim.
oh, yeah. But I'm just.
No gas tax,
so
right?
The idea is they pull up.
They'll get you
is it,
sooner or later.
Exclusive parking for,
Why not now?
is it part of the parking lot? Can you just pull up, park, plug in, run into the store?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, there are no restrictions on it, so you can pull in and plug in. The only restrictions we may supply, and this is really at the landlord's request, is we may turn them on a half hour before opening and turn them off a half hour after. If they prefer to leave them on 24 hours, we're willing to leave them on 24
And
hours as well.
what's to prevent someone that's not using the chargers to park there?
That, again, is up to the landlord if they want to issue warnings or tickets for that.
Okay, so, is there some type of mechanism in place to prevent someone?
There is signage, and it is painted on the stall on the surface.
Okay.
And there's no sound here, this is just visual.
Absolutely no sound and no motion.
Okay. All right, I think my questions have been answered. I was more concerned about where these digital signs are located, independent of the charging station, whether they were going to be on 95th Street or city property, but I,
The signs are actually embedded in, so the charging station itself is 7 feet tall by 3 feet wide, and the screens are inside the station. So it's really intended to merely be visible to the pedestrian traffic walking through the parking lot and the people using the charger.
yes.
So it's very localized.
Yes, thanks. I see this as the future anyway.
And can you tell me, is there any restriction on the type of ads that can be there? Is there?
Absolutely, yes. So there's a couple of mechanisms in place to support that. The first is Volta's company policy is no alcohol, tobacco, firearms, cannabis, religious, or political content. In addition to that, each site partner that we sign our ground lease with maintains full and complete control. They have to honor their anchor tenants restrictions, and they actually review every piece of creative before it goes up on the station, and they have 3 business days to do so before we place it. So there are multiple sets of checks and balances in place to make sure, and to give you a hypothetical example, we would not want to put a Walmart or a Target in front of this said retailer because they are considered competition on the grocery front.
Okay, excellent, thank you.
So I just have one more question because I'm curious about this. I love the idea, but so you don't have to be a member of the store there's not a card to slide in there, or?
No, it is completely a public amenity that's available in the parking lot to anyone who wants to utilize it.
Okay.
And I will say it's a differentiator for Oak Lawn because the nearest ones are at Ford City Mall. And the other chargers you have present here are in privatized garages where the public does not have access.
Right.
So this is really giving you a differentiator for your local surrounding communities and a little bit of an edge up in driving the EV traffic to do their shopping here in Oak Lawn.
Yeah.
Could there be an issue with overcharging? Like if, say, the DuPage Medical, somebody's working there and they plug in and they're there all day long, is there a point in time when they're kicked out of there, or, I mean?
Yeah, we have 24/7, 365 monitoring of the station utilization. If we find that someone is camping on the spot, we will notify the landlord, and it will be at their discretion what they want. Because we don't want to upset shoppers who are truly patronizing and benefiting from the amenity, but when it is not properly utilized, we do sometimes have to take steps for intervention. The other thing is we do have the ability to remotely shut the power to the unit off. So if they park there and they stay there, when their 2-hour window's over, we can shut the power off. And so they're not getting any benefit for staying.
So with respect to other locations, you kind of alluded to, how does a business who might be interested in having this, do you reach out to them or do they reach out to you?
Both.
So like if at Village Hall, just hypothetically, if we put one here, how do we know what the density is? Like,
Yeah, so Volta has a strict set of metrics we have to meet, to operate on that business model. We need a minimum eyeline number hit of 10,000 eyeline hits a day in order to monetize our investment and to be able to sponsor or get the sponsorship at the levels we need to monetize our investment. We do take a 10-year ground lease, so we amortize over 5 years in all transparency. And here in the Midwest, it does take us usually about that long to recoup our investments to level 2 stations.
Pretty cool.
If the village or anyone else were interested, I would be happy to provide my contact information, and I can put any and every site through that vetting. We do have other business models for co-investment. We have a subscription model where we can provide regular pedestal chargers like our competitors. The difference is in the co-investment that's required and who pays the electricity, and that's where the variation of the business model come from other charging companies. And
Exciting, pretty exciting. Okay. And again,
Thank you.
yes, yes. Okay, let me get you closer to the mic. Hang on, Tom. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, and I apologize, I didn't hear what the motion was to do, deny or approve.
Approve.
Okay. And some of this may be repetitive because I couldn't hear some of the responses, but from the basic top down, who are the parties to this agreement? I heard Amazon mentioned, but I also heard landlord mention. Was Volta the petitioner engaging Hubbard Street Group as the landlord?
I think that's incorrect. I think it's Amazon that's asking Volta to do this.
it is. It is our national partnership with Amazon, and it is papered as an Amazon deal with sign-off and consent from the landlord, Hubbard Street.
I couldn't hear that.
Okay, it's a agreement between Volta and Amazon, and it is signed off on by the Hubbard Street Group.
Okay, and we know that the Hubbard Street Group is a developer that may or may not own the property moving forward. I'm certain they probably looked in the legalities of this type of thing being party to an eventual sale. The concern I have, though, is if it's, I think I heard it's a free service, so almost like a public utility. The agreement between Volta and Amazon, who pays for the electric and how they get it back. But then I also understand that the advertisements will not be specific to Amazon, or will it be specific to Amazon?
There will be advertisements related to Amazon products, but there are restrictions on the advertising, no alcohol, tobacco, politics, religion, cannabis, firearms, and
Yeah.
And no pharmaceutical.
so because it's Amazon, they probably won't be advertising Walmart, for example, due to the restrictions that Amazon would impose, but they
What
expect,
about the other businesses on the development?
We actually offer discounted advertising to anyone in the center. So they would be able to purchase some of that inventory at a discounted rate off of.
Okay. And then my final question, I think Terry was alluding to it. The concern that I have is born out of my experience with this digital advertising and on the monuments and you know, really I don't know how to say that, Oaklawn, part of Oaklawn's charm is a small town charm, and limiting the amount of Las Vegas shifts, if you will, that results from a bunch of digital signage up and down 95th or Cicero. I think I understood this case. It'll be close to the store. I think that's okay, but, you know, I could potentially see other stores that are fronting 95th Street, these things getting closer and closer to a major state highway where the traffic's going 45, 50 miles an hour, and that's where I would have some concern. But sounds like that's not the case in this situation.
Not at all. And actually, Volta's expansion approach of existing media stations is to provide additional tower pedestals beside those stations with no media on them. So our intention is not to turn anyone's parking lot into Times Square. Because at that point, we're cannibalizing our own media and our own revenue.
That's all I have, Mayor.
okay, thank you, trustee. Any other discussion? Okay, we're calling the vote on 11C and 11D.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Mallow?
Yes.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Phelan?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much. Item 11G is a request for the Board of Trustees approval on the recommendation from the Fire and Police Commission to lower minimum hiring age for the Village of Oak Lawn Fire Department from 24 to 21. And then H is an ordinance granting that request, adopting that new minimum age. May I have a motion, please, on G and H?
Motion to approve.
A motion to defer.
Okay, we had before that a motion to approve by trustee Stalker. Do I have a
Oh, I
second?
apologize, I didn't hear the motion. I
Okay,
apologize.
that's all right, Tom.
All right, yeah, then I'll
Second.
discuss it.
Okay, so we have a motion to approve by trustee Stalker, a second by, anyone have a second? Trustee Desmond? Okay, thank you. Any discussion? Trustee Phelan?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. As the board likely knows, although I wasn't on the board at the time, the board made a decision to increase the hiring age for our firefighters from 21 to 25. And the primary reason for that was pension costs and long-term obligations of the village. The idea being the longer we wait to hire, the longer the employee will work, you minimize the early retirees who retire at 50 and live to be 100, and all that has merit, for sure. The discussions that gave rise to this request over the last several months arose out of a desire to try and get more Oak Lawn residents to take the fire test, to try and get more Oak Lawn residents to work in the village. And this would apply to all departments, but in particular the fire department, where we're seeing fewer and fewer Oak Lawn residents. And both the former chief and the current chief have said it's difficult because the pool of candidates taking the test now obviously are 25 or older, so you lose a lot of those younger Oak Lawn residents who may or may not have gone to college, who take other jobs, move out of the area, and you're limited really to a pool of candidates who are largely paramedics from other towns or working for other companies, or people that are just between jobs. And the chief, prior and current, said this, they believe, would help in our efforts to get better quality candidates. The drawback being, if it is one, and it can arguably be said is that we have to pay to train our firefighters to become paramedics, and there is a cost involved in that. Our Human Resources Director looked into that, and the flip side to that was, well, the paramedics that come from other communities or ambulance companies may or may not be as good as those that train in Oak Lawn Fire Department, which is probably true. At the end of the day, I told the chief that I would be supportive of putting this on the agenda for discussion. You know, the other issue then is if we really are, and I think we should be concerned about legacy and long-term costs, pensions and otherwise, do we increase the age of all employees hired, police, fire, public works, general administrative employees to 25 for the same reason? And and it wasn't clear why that wasn't done in the past. Not to say it was a mistake or not, but that was a fair statement by the fire chief that why only the fire department. So that's sort of the backstory here. I do see both sides. We've talked more of late about, yes, we have to worry about the people that live in Oak Lawn 50 years from now, but we really are more and more pressed to deliver services and response and safety to our current taxpayers. So that's why I am supportive of this move, but understanding those who may not be.
Okay.
Andy?
Mayor?
Thank you. Trustee Warderer, then trustee Mallow, then trustee Stalker.
Yeah, I just wanted to respond to the motivation originally, to up the age, and that was pension consideration. But since we voted this 4 or 5 or 6 years ago, pension law has changed, and I had a conversation with the fire chief about this. You cannot retire at 50 any longer within police and fire. You must be 55 years of age, which takes some of the concerns about the long-term pension liability when hire somebody at 21. I just wanted to point that. I'll get it into the record. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much. Trustee Mallow.
I think trustee Border answered my question right there, but the other question, I guess, is what is currently the minimum wage or minimum age for fire or for police currently?
21.
It is 21.
It's 21, yes.
So this would be matching them together,
Yes.
being the same. Okay, thank you.
Okay, trustee Stalker.
Trustee Warderer, stole my thunder.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Very good. Any other discussion? This is item 11G like George. Hearing none, let's call the vote.
What are we voting on? I'm sorry.
What we're voting on is moving this is approving the minimum age
Okay.
change. Chief, did you want to weigh in at all before the vote?
No, Mayor, unless there's any further questions.
Chief says no unless there are other questions, and I think we're pretty good. Let's call the vote, please, on 11G like George.
Is it G and H or?
G and H we could do together, I guess.
Right.
Council says yes.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Mallow?
Yes.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Phelan?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, thanks, everyone. We're going to move on to item 12 now. That's Resolution 20-23-72, resolution waiving the competitive bidding requirements and authorizing renewal of a shooting range maintenance agreement with Best Technology Systems Incorporated. And may I have a motion, please, on 12?
Motion to approve, Mayor.
Thank you. We already had trustee Vorder, seconded by trustee Phelan. Any discussion?
Yeah, that was.
Oh, that was Oliniechek, I'm sorry. Motion by trustee Vorder, seconded by trustee Oliniechek, sorry, and any discussion?
Yes, Mayor, I had one question.
Okay, that's trustee Phelan, correct?
Correct, sorry.
Okay.
Actually, more a statement. So, I noticed on here, and this is a fairly esoteric professional service that I suspect there aren't a lot who can deliver it, the type of service, gun range cleaning and service. There's a lot of environmental issues. However, we also noticed from the write-up that it's been 10 years that we've been with this company, and just from a fiduciary responsibility, I think not this time, but next year, we need to go out and at least research competitors to the extent they do exist and they're not inconvenienced by location or geography, that we do get some bids in here just so that we can fairly say that we did our duties as fiduciaries. But not opposed to this year's approval.
Okay, thank you. Any other discussion? Let's call the vote, please, on 12.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Mallow?
Yes.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Phelan?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. 13 is cancellation of the December 22nd, 2020 Board of Trustees meeting. May I have a motion on 13?
Motion to approve.
Thank you. That was trustee Stalker, I believe. Do we have a second?
I'll second, Mayor.
Trustee Vorder is our second. Thank you. Any discussion? Let's call that vote.
Just one more comment. One comment, Mayor, to Scott Phelan.
Okay.
Just given the heightened importance and difficulty of this year's budget year, I think as a board, we ought to anticipate perhaps having to call a special meeting if we do cancel this one like we've done in the past, if we can't get the budget resolved by the first meeting in December. It's something we've done a few times in the past, but just to prepare everybody for that possibility.
Absolutely. Thank you. Any other discussion? Let's call that vote, please.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Mallow?
Yes.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Phelan?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you very much. Item 14, Village Clerk's Report.
Okay. Approval of semi-monthly disbursements, number 2020-22D, dated November 24th, 2020, in the amount of $1,315,189.61.
Thank you. May I have a motion on 14A, please?
Motion to pay the bills.
Trustee Vorder made that motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Trustee Desmond is our second. Thank you. Any discussion? Let's call that vote, please.
Trustee Vorder?
Yes.
Trustee Mallow?
Yes.
Trustee Stalker?
Yes.
Trustee Oliniechek?
Yes.
Trustee Desmond?
Yes.
Trustee Phelan?
Yes.
Motion passes. And happy Thanksgiving to all, and I do want to remind everybody, naturally, we're closed on Thursday, November 26th, and we're also closed on Friday, November 27th. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Item 15, Village President's Report. I want to wish everyone a very happy Thanksgiving. It is the kickoff for the holiday shopping season, and these holidays are going to be different this year. That doesn't mean my message is changing. It's now more than ever urgent. Please shop Oak Lawn, folks. If you spend $100 on gifts, try to spend that $100 in your community where it's creating jobs, where it's creating sales tax revenue, where it's creating vibrance in our town. Ordering online is so easy, but none of that money comes back to work in the community for us. And if you can buy it locally, please do so. Support our mom and pop restaurants and bars with takeout orders. It is urgent to keep them viable. There's light at the end of the tunnel. In the spring, we're hoping for, some relief when the vaccination becomes available. What we really have, though, are several months where just because you have a vaccine doesn't mean you can get it into everyone's arm easily. There's a big process to that, and it's going to be, I think, a historic national kind of logistics exercise. It will be very challenging. But until then, let's keep our businesses afloat. Spend your money, please, in town if you can. Don't just order on a catalog. Let's find a way to keep our businesses viable. I urgently make that appeal on behalf of them all. And if you're looking to have a scaled-down holiday dinner with just your family, our restaurants would love to have curbside pickup, delivery of that. Be non-traditional. It's a non-traditional year. If you normally have turkey for Thanksgiving, consider Chinese food or something different. Let's keep these restaurants open. With that, I'd like a motion to adjourn, please. Thank you. Trustee Olenichik made that motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Trustee Desmond, thank you. Any discussion? Let's call that vote, please.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Thank you. We're adjourned at 9:46. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.